Imagine the scene. A joyful day turns into a nightmare when a girl, surrounded by her loving family, is suddenly attacked by a bear. Her family watches in horror as she fights for her life. What happened next? Did she manage to survive? This heart-wrenching story will keep you on the edge of your seat, so join us in this video as we delve into this terrifying bear attack and reveal every shocking detail. In the remote wilderness of Alaska, near the small town of Talkeetna, it was July 15th, 2022. The Thompson family was eager to begin their summer adventure. David Thompson, a 42-year-old high school teacher, had been planning this trip for months. His wife, Sarah, a nurse, shared his excitement, as did their two children, 14-year-old Emily and 10-year-old Jake. The Thompsons had a secluded cabin by the river, a place where they could escape from the hustle and bustle of daily life and enjoy nature's tranquility. David had always been an avid outdoorsman, teaching his children the importance of respecting nature and understanding the wilderness. This trip was meant to be an educational and bonding experience, an opportunity for the family to grow closer while exploring the beauty of Alaska. They had driven from Anchorage, their SUV packed with supplies and camping gear, their spirits high with anticipation. The cabin, nestled deep in the woods, was a modest but sturdy structure. It had been in David's family for generations, a sanctuary surrounded by dense forest and a crystal-clear river teeming with fish. As they arrived, the sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the landscape. The family unpacked their belongings, set up camp, and settled in for their first night in the wilderness. The first day was filled with joy and adventure. They fished in the river, hiked through the woods, and marveled at the untouched beauty around them. Emily, a bright and adventurous girl, particularly enjoyed exploring the area. She was fascinated by the wildlife and spent hours sketching the scenery in her notebook. Jake, always full of energy, chased after squirrels and collected interesting rocks. On the second night, the family sat around the campfire, roasting marshmallows and sharing stories. The sky was clear, and the stars shone brightly above. The serenity of the moment was a stark contrast to the horror that would soon unfold. As they prepared for bed, they heard strange noises coming from the darkness beyond their campsite. At first, they thought it was just the usual sounds of the forest, but the noises grew louder and more unsettling. David's instincts told him something was wrong. He grabbed a flashlight and cautiously approached the source of the noise, his heart pounding in his chest. Suddenly, a massive grizzly bear emerged from the shadows, its eyes glinting with hunger. The bear had been driven by a lack of food, drawn to the scent of their supplies. Despite their attempts to scare it away, the bear was undeterred. It lunged towards Emily, who stood frozen in shock. David reacted instinctively, trying to protect his daughter. He fought desperately, using all his strength to fend off the bear, but he was overpowered. The bear's sheer size and power were too much to handle. In a heart-wrenching moment, the bear dragged Emily away into the forest. Her family watched helplessly, their screams echoing through the night. Sarah clutched Jake, trying to shield him from the horror, while David lay on the ground, injured and defeated. The eerie silence that followed was broken only by their sobs and the distant sounds of the wilderness. As the night wore on, the family huddled together, praying for a miracle. They knew they needed help, but were miles away from the nearest town. David, despite his injuries, managed to set off a flare, hoping it would attract the attention of someone nearby. The hours seemed endless as they waited in agony, fearing the worst. When the first light of dawn broke, rescue teams finally arrived, alerted by the flare. They searched the area extensively but found only the torn remnants of Emily's belongings scattered in the forest. The Thompson family, devastated and in shock, clung to the hope that Emily might somehow be found alive. However, the grim reality began to set in as the search continued. The forest, once a place of beauty and adventure, had become a haunting reminder of their worst nightmare. The Thompson family's lives were forever changed, marked by the loss of their beloved Emily and the harrowing experience that would stay with them forever. The rescue team, led by experienced ranger Robert Hayes, combed the area thoroughly. They followed the bear's tracks deep into the forest, hoping for any sign of Emily. The Thompson family remained at the campsite, their hearts heavy with fear and despair. Sarah held Jake close, trying to comfort him while battling her own anguish. David, injured but determined, insisted on joining the search, but the rescuers urged him to stay and recover. As the hours turned into days, the search efforts intensified. Helicopters scanned the area from above, and search dogs were brought in to track Emily's scent. Despite their best efforts, the dense forest and rough terrain made the search incredibly challenging. The rescue team found more of Emily's belongings, but there was no trace of the girl herself. The community in Talkeetna rallied around the Thompsons, offering support and assistance. Volunteers joined the search, bringing food and supplies to the campsite. The kindness of strangers touched the Thompsons, but the pain of not knowing Emily's fate was overwhelming. The bear that had taken Emily was a known danger in the area. Wildlife experts explained that the bear was likely driven by hunger, a common issue during certain times of the year when food is scarce. This knowledge did little to comfort the Thompsons, who were left grappling with the cruel reality of their situation. Weeks passed with no significant leads. The search efforts began to wind down, but David refused to give up. He continued to explore the forest, calling out for his daughter, hoping for a miracle. The authorities eventually had to make the difficult decision to scale back the search, acknowledging that the chances of finding Emily alive were slim. The Thompsons returned to Anchorage, their hearts heavy with grief. The loss of Emily left a void that could never be filled. They sought solace in each other and in the support of their community. Friends and neighbors helped them cope with the unimaginable loss, offering love and understanding during their darkest days. David and Sarah found some comfort in sharing Emily's story, raising awareness about the dangers of the wilderness and advocating for better safety measures for campers and hikers. They established a foundation in Emily's name, dedicated to helping families who faced similar tragedies and supporting search and rescue efforts. Though their lives would never be the same, the Thompsons tried to honor Emily's memory by living fully and cherishing their time together. The forest, once a place of joy and adventure, had become a symbol of their greatest sorrow. Yet, they hoped that by sharing their story, they could help prevent other families from experiencing the same pain. The bear that took Emily remained a haunting presence in their minds, a reminder of the fragility of life and the power of nature. The Thompsons knew they had to find a way to move forward, carrying Emily's spirit with them as they navigated the difficult path of healing and remembrance. In the vast, remote Alaskan tundra near the outskirts of Denali National Park, it was August 20th, 2023. Jack Anderson, a seasoned hunter and wildlife enthusiast, was preparing for his annual hunting trip. At 45, Jack had spent most of his life navigating the wild terrains of Alaska. He had developed a profound respect for nature's beauty and dangers. This annual trip was a tradition he cherished, a time to bond with his 16-year-old son, Alex. Alex had inherited his father's love for the wilderness. Tall and athletic, he had been accompanying Jack on these trips since he was 10. Each year they ventured into the heart of the tundra, tracking caribou and other game, honing their skills and creating lasting memories. For Alex, these trips were a rite of passage, a chance to learn from his father and experience the raw power of nature firsthand. Their preparations were meticulous. Jack ensured they had all the necessary gear: rifles, survival kits, and an emergency flare. They packed enough supplies to last them several days in the wilderness. The journey to their hunting grounds was long, involving a rugged drive and a challenging hike. But the anticipation of the hunt and the promise of adventure made every step worthwhile. On the morning of August 20th, the sun rose early, casting a golden glow over the tundra. Jack and Alex set out from their base camp, their rifles slung over their shoulders. They moved silently through the dense underbrush, their eyes scanning the landscape for signs of caribou. The air was crisp and filled with the scents of pine and earth. Birds chirped overhead, and the occasional rustle of leaves hinted at the presence of wildlife. As they trekked deeper into the wilderness, they came across fresh caribou tracks. Jack's experience told him they were close. They followed the trail cautiously, aware that they were not the only predators in the area. The Alaskan tundra was home to many formidable creatures, including the massive brown bear. Jack had encountered bears before, but he knew that the unpredictability of these encounters demanded constant vigilance. Suddenly, the peaceful atmosphere shattered. A low growl resonated through the air, sending chills down their spines. Jack froze, motioning for Alex to do the same. They had inadvertently entered the territory of a massive brown bear. The bear, sensing intruders, emerged from the thick brush, its eyes locked onto the pair. It was enormous, with muscles rippling under its thick fur, and it looked hungry. Jack's mind raced. He had to protect Alex. He raised his rifle, firing a warning shot into the air. The bear hesitated, momentarily deterred by the noise. Seizing the opportunity, Jack urged Alex to back away slowly. But the bear, undeterred by the initial scare, began to circle them, its movements deliberate and menacing. Alex's heart pounded in his chest. He had never seen a bear this close before, and the reality of the danger they were in was overwhelming. Jack kept his eyes on the bear, trying to anticipate its next move. Despite their careful planning and preparation, they were now at the mercy of this powerful predator. The bear lunged suddenly, its massive body hurtling towards Alex. Jack, driven by instinct and desperation, threw himself between his son and the bear. He swung his rifle, striking the bear and causing it to veer off course. The bear roared in fury, rearing up on its hind legs. Jack knew they had to act fast. He grabbed the emergency flare from his pack, igniting it and waving it frantically to scare the bear away. For a moment, it seemed to work. The bear backed off, growling and swiping at the air. Jack motioned for Alex to run, but as they began to move, the bear circled back, its eyes now fixated on Alex. Jack's heart sank. He knew he couldn't keep the bear at bay for long. He had to think of something quickly to save his son from the imminent threat. In a desperate attempt to divert the bear's attention, Jack hurled the flare into the brush, hoping the light and noise would lure the bear away. But the bear was relentless. It lunged again, this time catching Alex off guard. The force of the attack knocked Alex to the ground, and the bear's claws tore into his flesh. Jack fought with all his might, using every ounce of strength to pull the bear away from his son. But the bear's power was overwhelming. Just as it seemed all hope was lost, the sound of approaching footsteps signaled the arrival of the rangers, summoned by the flare. The bear, startled by the sudden commotion, retreated into the wilderness, leaving Alex severely injured and Jack emotionally shattered. The rangers quickly assessed the situation. Alex was badly injured, with deep wounds that required immediate medical attention. They carefully placed him on a stretcher and rushed him back to their base camp. Jack followed closely, his mind racing with worry for his son. The journey back felt like an eternity, every second filled with fear and anxiety. At the base camp, a helicopter awaited to airlift Alex to the nearest hospital. The rangers worked efficiently, coordinating the rescue and ensuring Alex's safety. Jack watched as the helicopter took off, feeling a mixture of relief and dread. He knew that Alex was in good hands, but the extent of his injuries remained uncertain. Upon arrival at the hospital, doctors quickly took Alex into surgery. Jack could only wait, his heart heavy with guilt and fear. He replayed the events in his mind, wondering if there was more he could have done to protect his son. The hours dragged on, each moment filled with silent prayers and hope. After what seemed like an eternity, the doctors emerged with news. Alex had survived the surgery but would need extensive recovery and rehabilitation. The bear's attack had left him with deep scars, both physical and emotional. Jack was relieved that his son was alive, but knew that their lives had changed forever. The days that followed were challenging. Alex faced numerous surgeries and physical therapy sessions. He struggled with the trauma of the attack, haunted by memories of the bear. Jack stayed by his side, offering support and encouragement. The bond between father and son grew stronger as they navigated this difficult journey together. The annual hunting trip, once a cherished tradition, had become a painful memory. Jack and Alex knew they would never return to the tundra with the same sense of excitement and anticipation. The wilderness, which had once been a place of adventure and bonding, now held a darker significance. As Alex slowly recovered, he found ways to cope with his fear of the wild. He attended counseling sessions and leaned on the support of his family and friends. Jack, too, found solace in sharing their story, hoping to raise awareness about the dangers of the wilderness and the importance of safety measures. The scars on Alex's body served as a constant reminder of the harrowing experience, but they also symbolized his strength and resilience. Over time, Alex began to regain his confidence, though the fear of the wild never fully left him. He learned to respect the power of nature and the importance of caution. Jack and Alex's relationship deepened through this ordeal. They found new ways to bond, shifting their focus from hunting trips to safer outdoor activities. The experience had taught them valuable lessons about survival, resilience, and the unbreakable bond of family. Though the annual hunting trip had ended in tragedy, Jack and Alex emerged stronger, their connection fortified by the challenges they had faced together. They carried the memory of that fateful day with them, forever changed but united in their journey of healing and growth. It was a warm Sunday in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. A group of college friends had decided to celebrate their recent graduation with a hiking trip. The group consisted of Sally Parker, Julia Reynolds, Levi Miller, and Mark Davis, all of whom had met during their freshman year at the University of Tennessee. Their bond had formed quickly over shared interests in outdoor activities, and they had spent countless weekends exploring the natural beauty of the region. Sally, a biology major, had always been fascinated by wildlife. Her enthusiasm for nature often inspired the group to embark on various adventures. Julia, majoring in environmental science, shared Sally's passion and was eager to document their hikes with her camera. Levi, a physical education major, enjoyed the physical challenge of hiking, while Mark, studying geology, loved examining the rock formations and landscapes they encountered. Throughout their college years, they had formed a tight-knit group, supporting each other through the stresses of academic life. Their shared experiences had created lasting memories, from late-night study sessions to spontaneous road trips. The hiking trip in the Great Smoky Mountains was meant to be a final celebration of their friendship before they embarked on their respective post-graduation paths. The sun was shining brightly as they set out on their hike. The trail was lush with greenery, the air filled with the sounds of birds and rustling leaves. The friends laughed and chatted, reminiscing about their college days and discussing their future plans. They had chosen a remote part of the trail, eager to experience the serenity of the less traveled paths. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they marveled at the beauty around them. The trail led them through dense woods, across babbling streams, and up steep inclines that offered breathtaking views of the surrounding mountains. Julia snapped photos of the scenery, capturing the essence of their adventure. Suddenly, they noticed movement ahead on the trail. A black bear emerged from the underbrush, its curiosity piqued by the presence of the hikers. The friends froze, a mixture of excitement and caution washing over them. Sally, ever the wildlife enthusiast, urged them to remain calm. They stood still, observing the bear as it sniffed the air and moved closer. Believing the bear to be harmless, they decided to take pictures. Julia carefully raised her camera, trying to capture the moment. The bear, however, was not pleased with their presence. It began to show signs of agitation, pawing at the ground and grunting. The friends were too engrossed in their excitement to notice the warning signs. Without warning, the bear charged. It moved with surprising speed, closing the distance between them in seconds. Panic set in as the friends scrambled to react. The bear knocked Sally to the ground with a powerful swipe of its paw. She screamed in pain as it bit and clawed at her, its ferocity terrifying. The other friends tried to intervene, shouting and waving their arms in a desperate attempt to scare the bear away. Levi grabbed a fallen branch, swinging it wildly, while Mark and Julia frantically searched for anything to help. The bear's aggression was relentless, and their efforts seemed futile. As Sally struggled, the sound of approaching footsteps signaled the arrival of park rangers. They had been alerted by other hikers who had heard the commotion. The rangers quickly assessed the situation and fired tranquilizer darts at the bear. The bear roared in anger, but the tranquilizers soon took effect, and it stumbled away from Sally, eventually collapsing a short distance away. The friends rushed to Sally's side, their hearts pounding with fear and relief. Sally's injuries were severe, but she was conscious. The rangers called for medical assistance, and Sally was carefully placed on a stretcher. The group watched as she was airlifted to the nearest hospital. Their joyous hiking trip turned into a nightmare. The experience left the group deeply shaken. They had underestimated the wild and paid a heavy price. As they packed up their gear and prepared to leave the mountains, the reality of their encounter with the bear settled in. The once celebratory trip had become a stark lesson in the unpredictability and power of nature. Sally was rushed to the hospital, where doctors quickly took her into surgery to treat her injuries. Her friends, now gathered in the waiting room, were filled with anxiety and fear. The shock of the bear attack had left them all deeply unsettled. Julia, Levi, and Mark tried to support each other, but the weight of the incident was heavy on their hearts. After hours of waiting, the doctors finally emerged with the news. Sally had survived the surgery and was in stable condition, but her recovery would be long and challenging. The bear's attack had left her with deep wounds and scars that would take time to heal. Her friends were relieved that she was alive, but knew that their lives had been irrevocably changed. In the following days, the group stayed by Sally's side, offering comfort and support. The hospital staff commended their dedication, noting how the friends took turns sitting with Sally, ensuring she never felt alone. They brought her flowers, cards, and small tokens to cheer her up, trying to lift her spirits despite the grim circumstances. As Sally began her physical therapy, she faced the daunting task of overcoming not just her physical injuries, but also the emotional trauma of the attack. The once enthusiastic hiker now struggled with a deep fear of the outdoors. Her friends encouraged her, sharing memories of their happier times and reminding her of her inner strength. The experience had a profound impact on all of them. The close encounter with the bear shattered their sense of invincibility, leaving them with a newfound respect for nature's unpredictability. Julia, who had always loved photographing wildlife, found herself hesitant to venture back into the wilderness. Levi and Mark, too, were more cautious, always mindful of the potential dangers that lurked in the great outdoors. In an effort to cope with their trauma, the friends attended counseling sessions together. They talked about their fears, their guilt, and the haunting memories of that day. Through therapy, they began to heal, slowly rebuilding their confidence and trust in each other. Despite the horror of the incident, the friends remained close. Their bond, forged in the halls of their university and tempered by the bear attack, grew even stronger. They vowed to stay connected, supporting one another through the ups and downs of life. Sally's recovery was slow but steady. Her determination and the unwavering support of her friends played a crucial role in her healing process. While she knew she would never forget the bear attack, she refused to let it define her. She resumed her studies in biology, channeling her experience into a deeper understanding of wildlife behavior and safety. The group decided to use their experience to educate others about the importance of respecting wildlife. They shared their story in various forums, hoping to raise awareness and prevent similar incidents. Their message was clear. Nature is beautiful, but must be approached with caution and respect. In the end, the hiking trip that had turned into a nightmare also became a story of resilience and friendship. The scars they carried, both seen and unseen, were reminders of their strength and the lessons they had learned. The Great Smoky Mountains, once a place of carefree adventure, now held a deeper, more complex significance for them. In the vast, remote forests of Siberia, near the Yenisei River, it was October 3rd, 2022. A dedicated team of researchers from the University of Moscow had set up camp for their latest study on brown bear behavior. The team was led by Dr. Viktor Ivanov, a renowned wildlife biologist with over 2 decades of experience in the field. Known for his deep knowledge and passion for wildlife, Dr. Ivanov had dedicated his life to studying the majestic yet unpredictable brown bears of Siberia. The team included Maria Petrov, a young and ambitious graduate student specializing in animal behavior, Sergei Kuznetsov, an expert in wildlife tracking, and Elena Novikova, a skilled data analyst. Each member brought a unique set of skills to the project, and they shared a common goal: to gain a deeper understanding of brown bear habits and habitats to promote conservation efforts. Their camp was strategically located in an area known for frequent bear sightings. The researchers had spent weeks setting up motion sensor cameras, collecting samples and documenting bear activities. The days were long and demanding, but their commitment to the research kept them motivated. The serene beauty of the Siberian wilderness served as both their office and their sanctuary, providing a stark contrast to the bustling city life they had left behind. On the evening of October 3rd, the team gathered around their campfire, discussing the day's findings. The air was crisp, and the sky was painted with hues of orange and pink as the sun set behind the dense forest. They had just finished dinner, and the scent of their meal lingered in the air. Unbeknownst to them, this scent had attracted an uninvited guest. Suddenly, they heard rustling in the nearby bushes. A massive brown bear emerged from the shadows, drawn by the promise of food. The researchers froze, their hearts pounding with a mix of awe and fear. They had encountered bears before, but never this close. Dr. Ivanov, sensing the danger, instructed his team to remain calm and slowly back away. The bear, however, was not deterred. It moved closer, its eyes fixed on the remnants of their dinner. In a desperate attempt to protect his team, Dr. Ivanov grabbed a flare and lit it, hoping the bright light and noise would scare the bear away. The bear hesitated for a moment, but then, driven by hunger, it charged at Dr. Ivanov. The attack was swift and brutal. Dr. Ivanov tried to fend off the bear, but it overpowered him, its sheer strength too much for him to handle. The other researchers watched in horror, unable to intervene. They scrambled to grab more flares and make noise, but the bear's ferocity was unyielding. As Dr. Ivanov lay motionless, the bear finally retreated, spooked by the combined efforts of the team. The camp was left in shambles, a grim reminder of the encounter. The researchers rushed to Dr. Ivanov's side, but it was too late. Their leader, mentor, and friend had succumbed to his injuries. The team, now traumatized and grieving, gathered what remained of their camp. The loss of Dr. Ivanov was a heavy blow, but they knew they had to carry on. With a renewed respect for the power and unpredictability of the bears they studied, the researchers vowed to continue their work, honoring Dr. Ivanov's legacy and dedication to wildlife conservation. In the days following Dr. Ivanov's tragic death, the remaining researchers struggled to regain their focus. The memory of the attack haunted them, casting a shadow over their camp. Maria, Sergei, and Elena worked in silence, each lost in their thoughts, mourning the loss of their leader. The team knew they had to honor Dr. Ivanov's commitment to their research. They meticulously documented the incident, understanding that even this tragic event held valuable insights into bear behavior. The data they gathered could help prevent future attacks and contribute to the safety of others working in similar environments. Maria took on a leadership role, guiding the team through their daily tasks. Sergei focused on reinforcing their camp's defenses, ensuring that food and supplies were securely stored to avoid attracting more bears. Elena dedicated herself to analyzing the data and finding patterns that could explain the bears' aggressive behavior. Despite their fear and grief, the researchers found strength in their shared mission. They conducted their studies with heightened caution, constantly aware of the dangers that surrounded them. Each day in the Siberian wilderness reminded them of Dr. Ivanov's passion and dedication. The team's bond grew stronger as they navigated the challenges of their work. They leaned on each other for support, finding solace in their collective resilience. While the memory of the attack would never fade, it became a driving force, fueling their determination to complete their research and make a meaningful contribution to wildlife conservation in honor of Dr. Ivanov. On a sunny July 10, 2023, in the breathtaking Canadian Rockies, newlyweds George and Laura Evans set out on a romantic hiking adventure. George and Laura had known each other since childhood, growing up in the same small town in Alberta. Their friendship had blossomed into a deep love over the years, culminating in a beautiful wedding just a week earlier. They had always shared a passion for the outdoors, and it seemed only fitting to celebrate their union with a honeymoon amidst nature's splendor. George, an avid hiker with a strong appreciation for the wilderness, had often taken Laura on hikes during their courtship. Laura, a wildlife photographer, loved capturing the beauty of the landscapes they explored together. Their shared love for adventure and the natural world had strengthened their bond, and they were excited to embark on this new journey as husband and wife. The Canadian Rockies, with its majestic peaks and pristine trails, was the perfect destination for their dream honeymoon. The couple meticulously planned their trip, eager to explore the scenic trails and enjoy the tranquility of the mountains. They packed their gear, including a first aid kit, bear spray, and hiking sticks, confident in their preparation. The trail they chose was known for its stunning overlooks and abundant wildlife. They were aware of the presence of grizzly bears in the area, but their excitement and confidence overshadowed any apprehensions. As they hiked deeper into the wilderness, the beauty of the Rockies unfolded around them. The air was crisp, and the views were nothing short of spectacular. George and Laura felt a profound sense of peace and connection with nature. They reached a scenic overlook and paused to take in the breathtaking panorama. Laura took out her camera, capturing the moment while George admired the view. Suddenly, the serenity was shattered. A massive grizzly bear appeared from the underbrush, drawn by the scent of their food. The couple's hearts raced with fear as the bear approached. George instinctively grabbed his hiking stick, trying to protect Laura. He waved the stick and made noise, hoping to scare the bear away. However, the bear, driven by hunger, was undeterred. The bear charged at Laura with terrifying speed. George was pushed aside, helplessly watching as the bear attacked his wife. The scene was chaotic and filled with desperation. Laura tried to fend off the bear, but its strength and ferocity were overwhelming. George scrambled to his feet, shouting and throwing rocks, but his efforts were in vain. The bear's powerful claws and teeth inflicted severe injuries on Laura. Her screams echoed through the mountains, a stark contrast to the peaceful surroundings. George's heart ached with fear and helplessness as he continued to try to distract the bear. Finally, the bear, spooked by the noise and commotion, retreated into the forest, leaving Laura critically injured. George rushed to Laura's side, his hands trembling as he tried to assess her injuries. He grabbed his emergency flare and set it off, hoping to attract the attention of nearby hikers or rescuers. Time seemed to stand still as they waited, the weight of the situation pressing down on them. The dream honeymoon had turned into a nightmare, highlighting the unforgiving power of nature's fiercest inhabitants. Rescuers arrived swiftly after spotting the emergency flare. They assessed Laura's condition and provided immediate medical attention, stabilizing her for transport. George watched anxiously, his heart heavy with fear and guilt. The rescue team worked efficiently, securing Laura on a stretcher and carrying her to the waiting helicopter. George felt that the flight to the nearest hospital in Calgary was interminable. He remained at Laura's side, holding her hand, his mind racing with concern. Upon arrival, Laura was rushed into surgery. George was left in the waiting room, surrounded by the sterile environment and the hum of hospital activity. He could only hope for the best as doctors worked to save his wife's life. Hours passed before the medical team emerged with the news. Laura had survived the surgery, but her recovery would be long and arduous. The bear attack had left her with deep physical and emotional scars. George was relieved yet heartbroken, knowing the harrowing experience had forever altered their lives. During Laura's recovery, George stayed by her side, providing unwavering support. He managed their communication with friends and family, who rallied around them, offering love and assistance. The couple's dream honeymoon had transformed into a challenging ordeal, but their bond remained strong. As Laura slowly healed, she faced extensive physical therapy. Her determination and George's encouragement helped her regain strength and mobility. They both struggled with the trauma of the attack, seeking solace in each other's company. They attended counseling to address their fears and anxieties, finding comfort in shared resilience. Their ordeal served as a stark reminder of nature's unpredictability. George and Laura grew more cautious, understanding the importance of respecting wildlife and taking necessary precautions. They began to share their story, hoping to educate others about the dangers of underestimating the wilderness. The experience profoundly changed their perspective on life. They learned to cherish every moment and support one another through adversity. Though their honeymoon had turned into a nightmare, it also became a testament to their love and strength. George and Laura's journey through recovery highlighted the power of perseverance and the importance of respecting nature's boundaries. On a chilly October 14, 2023, high in the Himalayan mountains near the remote village of Kumjung, a group of trekkers set out on an adventurous expedition. This group was a mix of experienced mountaineers and enthusiastic newcomers. Among them was Ravi Patel, a 28-year-old software engineer with a passion for the outdoors. He had been trekking for years and had always dreamed of exploring the majestic Himalayas. Ravi's companions included seasoned climbers like Anil Singh, who had summited several peaks in the region, and Maya Desai, a skilled trekker with a background in geology. Alongside them were newcomers Priya Mehta, a recent college graduate eager for adventure, and Ashok Sharma, a fitness trainer looking to push his limits. The group had bonded over their shared love for nature and the thrill of exploring uncharted territories. Their journey began in Kathmandu, where they gathered supplies and mapped out their route. They aimed to reach some of the lesser-known trails of the Himalayas, avoiding the more popular and crowded paths. Their goal was to immerse themselves in the untouched beauty of the region and experience the raw wilderness firsthand. Each day brought new challenges and breathtaking views, strengthening their camaraderie and deepening their appreciation for the mountains. As they trekked deeper into the remote regions, the group decided to set up camp near Kumjung, a village known for its stunning landscapes and occasional bear sightings. The villagers had warned them about the Himalayan brown bears, but the thrill of the adventure and the allure of the wild outweighed their concerns. They pitched their tents in a small clearing, ensuring they followed all safety protocols to minimize the risk of wildlife encounters. That night, the temperature dropped significantly, and the trekkers settled into their tents, exhausted from the day's hike. The camp was quiet except for the occasional rustle of the wind and the distant calls of nocturnal animals. Ravi, unable to sleep, lay awake listening to the sounds of the forest. Suddenly, he heard a noise coming from the direction of their food supplies. Curiosity got the better of him, and he decided to investigate. As Ravi stepped out of his tent, he was confronted by a massive Himalayan brown bear drawn to their camp by the scent of food. The bear, towering and powerful, immediately sensed his presence. In a split second, the bear charged at Ravi, who barely had time to react. The commotion woke the rest of the group, who rushed out of their tents to see what was happening. Despite their frantic efforts to scare the bear away using torches and making loud noises, the bear's focus remained on Ravi. It attacked with ferocity, inflicting severe injuries. The villagers, alerted by the noise, arrived quickly with additional torches and tools, working together with the trekkers to drive the bear away. The combined efforts of the villagers and the trekkers eventually forced the bear to retreat into the forest, leaving Ravi critically injured. As the adrenaline subsided, the gravity of the situation became clear. Ravi needed immediate medical attention. The group quickly coordinated an evacuation plan with the help of the villagers to get Ravi to the nearest hospital. The journey to the hospital was arduous, but they managed to transport him safely, their hearts heavy with worry for their friend. The adventure they had embarked on with such excitement had taken a dark and unexpected turn, underscoring the perilous beauty of the Himalayan wilderness. The trek to the nearest hospital was long and grueling. Ravi's companions carried him carefully, their faces etched with worry. The villagers provided guidance, helping to navigate the treacherous terrain. Ravi remained conscious but in severe pain, the severity of his injuries evident to all. Upon reaching the hospital, Ravi was immediately taken into emergency care. The medical team worked swiftly, tending to his wounds and stabilizing his condition. His friends waited anxiously, each moment stretching into what felt like an eternity. The weight of the ordeal hung heavily over them, a stark reminder of the unforgiving nature of the wilderness. Ravi's recovery process was challenging. The bear attack had left him with deep physical injuries that required extensive medical treatment. His friends took turns visiting him, offering support and ensuring he never felt alone. The trauma of the event was not limited to Ravi. It affected each member of the group, binding them together in shared resilience. As Ravi began his rehabilitation, the physical and emotional scars of the encounter became more apparent. The journey back to health was slow, marked by numerous medical procedures and physical therapy sessions. His friends stood by him, their presence a source of strength and encouragement. The bond they had formed during their trek was now fortified by their collective experience and determination to see Ravi through his recovery. The incident had a profound impact on the entire group. Their perspective on trekking and the natural world was forever altered. They became advocates for greater awareness and preparedness when venturing into the wilderness, sharing their stories to educate others about the potential dangers. Their hope was to prevent similar incidents and promote respect for the natural habitat of wildlife. Ravi's gradual recovery brought a renewed sense of purpose to the group. They organized talks and seminars, partnering with local trekking organizations to improve safety protocols. Their message was clear. The beauty of nature comes with inherent risks that must be respected. They emphasized the importance of proper preparation, understanding wildlife behavior, and always prioritizing safety. Despite the harrowing experience, the friends found solace in their unity and the positive changes they were making. Ravi's journey of healing was a testament to human resilience and the power of friendship. His physical scars were reminders of the encounter, but they also symbolized his strength and determination. The trekking group continued their adventures, albeit with a heightened sense of caution and respect for the environment. The Himalayas, once seen through the lens of pure adventure, were now viewed with a deeper understanding of their unpredictability. The experience had taught them invaluable lessons, transforming their approach to exploring the wild. In the end, the trip that had started as a thrilling adventure had evolved into a profound journey of survival, friendship, and advocacy. The group emerged stronger and more united, their shared ordeal shaping them into better, more conscientious explorers. Ravi's story became a beacon of hope and resilience, inspiring others to approach the natural world with both awe and caution.